Hello, everyone. So this is a Q&A. Anything goes. So just put any questions in the comments section and I'll watch them as they go. And hi, everyone. Hi, Wolf, Sherilyn, Nicole, Lori, Alina, Deborah. Woo! So hi, everyone. And of course, with this ascension, there's always energetic things going on and always quite interesting. You know, the biggest thing perhaps right at this now is, again, what's going on in the US and, you know, with Trump and these actions, because the politics in that area does play a big factor in this ascension. So that's great. So we'll see what comes out of that. So I'll scroll here on the chat. And hello, everyone, once again, to see where any questions are at. Yeah, good to see you all as well. What I will say is that, you know, recently I opened up the doors, if you will, to assisting anyone at this time with, you know, what they could consider like what was roadblocks to advancing them further. And just to generically say, I'm very impressed with everyone, you know, that I spoke with, all of the souls, and the caliber again of everyone from how far we came. If I was to compare it to, let's say, a year and a half ago, 1 September, when I come on to assist so many. Um, Again, you know, it's everyone is so powerful and so empowered, but one of the main commonalities that I see is that and you, that you question yourself. And it's very important that you don't do that. Just let everything flow freely. And one of the biggest reasons with this, if you begin to question what you feel or what you may receive or what you may know, what that begins to do when you question it, it begins to cut it off from you receiving more and more. And one of the reasons why it does this, it's because questioning your divinity, it comes from an area of uncertainty, and it creates doubt, which is fear. And anything fearful, anything on that fear spectrum, like worry, guilt, blame, all of these things, they are fear instruments that lowers the veil so that your judgment becomes clouded from your spiritual knowledge and your power. It separates you from it. Uh, so again, the most empowering and quickest way to rise is just say, um, you know, just to don't question yourself. Just put everything out there. Uh, None of you are ever wrong. It's important that you get something out, although it may appear wrong. It comes out for a reason, because in reality, for all that you are, there is no wrong nor right. Everything just is. And if you go with a preconceived notion that something may be wrong, then you are restricting something that must occur. So you are much more fluent. You are much more powerful by just putting things out there. Don't question them. So that is it defies what I'm saying about a certain human logic. But again, remember, we're no longer human here, and to have your divine co-creational gifts at the maximum, you cannot be acting in an old human way. You know, you've all been trained to override the conditioning, to override the programming of the old human ways. We are in a very amazing times where nothing is going to be humanly the same. We're creating the magic. So let go of all the questioning, get all of your inner work done by, letting go of the past, even if something, as you referred, as perhaps labeling it negative that happened yesterday. Just get that right out of your mind and just be in the now and go forward. Because as the powerful co creators you have become, if you think and put your focus upon a negative thing yesterday, well, what you are actually doing as a creator, you are bringing it into the now, you are keeping it alive. It is interfering with your divine judgment for seeing the good and the lighter sides of everything. And it controls how you feel, it controls how you think, and how you act if you have these negative things in there. And then as a creator, as a co-creator, you will be reflecting that into your reality. So constantly, if you keep looking back at the past of negative and fear-based things, you keep them in your reality and you keep creating that same old thing. So again, just accept everything in the past as neutral, take the value from it, bring yourself into a state of a now, and know that something that occurred even a second ago, that it doesn't matter. It's so important to be in the now, to be as positive as you can, because that empowers you. Keep your thoughts on the now moment, that you have everything you need. You are in a great area, but also that you're creating more harmony and more favorable things. So, again, you need to create it in the now moment with the positivity and all of the harmonious ways of acting and reacting with others, and keep in this state and keep creating going forward, because you are creating your reality. And we don't wish any darkness, any negativity, any of the fear spectrum in it. So you create from the very second now moment, and this is how we create. And it's not lying to yourself. To, as an example, I'll use money, but you're not lying to yourself if you have an abundance of money. Or let's just take the money out of the thing and just saying that you are abundant, you have abundance. You may only have one penny, if you will. However, by saying you have abundance, you are creating that in your reality, where, let's say, it may take a day or it may be instantaneous. But if you say you have abundance, then you create it. And it may be created in a second, or there may need to be events line up to bring that to you. However, it does. So you need to persevere, you need to remain adamant and persistent in your divine authority, but you also need to have that full trust of who and what you are and your connection to Creator. By having doubt in there, it distorts and it prolongs your creation. So it's very important to have full trust and do not let any doubt get into what you are. Know that you are very powerful as a co-creator, and know that you are a divine one and given these powers to do just this, to contribute to this now and these timelines going forward. So again, a big part of the inner work, as I said, um, let's say in an update that a week or so ago, your inner work, for most of you, your inner work is complete. And by making that statement, and also by knowing it, each one of you, then we create it, and it is. And we don't need to go through these ridiculous cycles of Groundhog Day doing the inner work. So we just say the inner work is done, and then we also create that very quickly. If you keep saying, oh, you got to do your inner work, well, then you create a scenario where you always got to do it. So this is important. Get out of them loops. And you're not lying. Let's say, even though you may not have your inner work done, but as a creator, you openly say, I have my inner work done. You are not lying. This is the way that you create. So I wish to make that very clear. So instead of saying, I need to do more inner work, you keep creating that scenario. So say that you have your inner work completed. And then what occurs, if you do have some more inner work to do, then very quickly it will come up because it needs to adjust to your creation that you have your inner work done. So then anything with the inner work then comes right up very rapidly. Then you are to identify it, that you are creating your reality to where your inner work is done. And if something comes up with the inner work, you can identify it right away. You say, ha, there it is. So I will work with this, reconcile it quickly, and then it adds to your creation that your inner work is done. So it is a process as well. And it's a very powerful process to assist you in getting your inner work done. So it may sound like a paradox, a conundrum. It may even sound like a contradiction. And because also to human logic, as a non-creator, it is a contradiction. However, you are co-creators with being given the divine truth on how to create, co-create, and empower yourselves. And these are the ways to do it. And as always, if you have a little bit of doubt in how I just explained how you create, then perhaps, do the opposite. Say you don't have your inner work done as well, and you'll just see bang, 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 lots of things with it come in there into your fields. Sure, that can be useful. However, when you have the power at this time, I suggest it's best to say that you have it done because you're energizing that creation. Again, if you say you don't have it done, you're constantly attracting things that are similar to the inner work. And you can also, by saying you don't have it done, you can be creating the same old things coming back into your reality that actually you did have done. But when you create them coming back into your reality, they have a lower vibration. And what it'll tend to do is bring your vibration down to match that old reality. And that, my friends, is descending. It's not ascending. So, whoa. All right, I'm going to stop rambling. This is supposed to be a Q&A. I got to jump way down here to the bottom and see what we got there. I believe yeah, hi everyone, all of you. What occurs when I'm doing these lives is the comments, as someone joins, it becomes, it kind of clutters up. So at this point, what I ask is one's just hello to all, and anyone just just joining, just put a question there. Then it makes it much simpler for I to get to more of the questions. Thank you for your cooperation. Yeah. Okay. And hi, Maria. Love and light to you and Marshall as well. My cousin Marshall, who I love very much, my physical cousin, and his divine partner Maria, who I love very much as well. So it's cool. Okay. I'm right at the bottom, you guys. If you want to put some questions out now, on my screen, Carl Larson says hello and thank you. That's the last comment I see, so I will look at questions from there forward. And hello to you too, Carl. Let's rock and roll. Okay, well, I'm waiting for questions. I'll light up another cigarette. So if anyone asks the questions, did I quit smoking yet? That answer is no, not yet. However, I do wish so in the very near futures. Okay, have a look, see if there's any questions. Linda Marie, you're welcome. Okay, Sandra. Sandra Watchenbach. She says, if you assure yourself to have your inner work done and you bump into a less nice situation, she says we can consider it a lesson and something to work with. Yes, indeed. And thanks for that question, Sandra. So, the ones of you that know you've been on this path, you've done all of your inner work, you cannot be triggered, you cannot be activated. If you are activated and controlled into a lesser neutral state, then it identifies it as a trigger. But I'd like to begin to use the word activator, or for to be activated in, let's say, the fear response way or the lower way. Now, with mastery, especially as being a co-creator, again, you are not to be controlled by activations or, well, the trigger word from others. You are to remain in your highest state and do not react from the same lower vibration as the test may be from. So there will be sometimes tests, but also with the collective, what many of you will find when you engage with others is that there will be commonalities of tests. You will find the similar themes throughout the collective. So again, if you've done all of your inner work and these sort of things arise, well, very quickly, one thing that you know is that you're to be the remedy. You're to be the solution. So it's best to take your physical avatar in the experience and act it out towards the solution. That way, it takes the negative imprint not out of the collective, but out of the masses as well. You're taking that much more influence and control of negativity out of the masses when you transmute it and understand what it is. But when you also act out and speak, let's say with another, the remedy, you are putting the solution out there within the collective that others can more, through the telepathic way that the collective operates, can receive the remedy and the solution. And what this does, it expedites the overall collective consciousness, raising them to a higher vibration, and also the masses that may not be awakened are advertently affected as well, because you just took a bit of negativity out of the overall vibration, which allows them to lift up a little bit more. So understand that there is a lot going on with this, to quell the confusion with what is actually occurring. Again, be aware, keep yourself in the highest state so that you have all of the knowledge at your disposal, all of the divine knowledge. Do not succumb to the negativity and the lower vibration of it. Remain in the higher vibration with the situation to reconcile and resolve it very quickly, to transmute it, you can say, and transition the negativity into the positive. So we are to create the harmony here, and also to create the positive, to change the polarity of this reality to positive. So we do not need negativity, and it's done in several or even many divine ways. There are so many ways of doing this. So thank you for that, Sandra. Heather Dawn Wood, she says, any news on starships decloaking in the very near future? Let me say, Heather, yes, what we are seeing is that more and more ships are indeed being seen by individuals. The photos that are divinely allowed to be taken are increasing. You will be getting better photos that will be allowed to be taken by the phone. Having said this, the last I received from the Galactics a few weeks ago was that there would again be an increased presence of interactions as well. Also, just I believe 2 nights ago, I was going to again put out and connect with the Galactics, but to put out perhaps for more of you to more strongly bring more of your ships into this now as well. And just by feeling and knowing that you have a ship or you're connected to the Galactics, by energizing that, you also bring your ships closer. So just remain with that, and what will imminently occur, what should, is that you will begin to see more of your ships visually with your eyes, and hopefully we can get more documentation on that. With the whole Trump world politic things, things tend to seem like they're dragging on and on. It is a process. However, there are times that we can expedite the process a little bit. And I'm saying this in relation to, perhaps some decloaking of some ships for others to see. However, most of our, or a lot of our ships that we're able to see, it's because of the multi-dimensional, depending on what ships they are. For example, the Merkaba ships, not everyone can see them. Someone that's not ascending, they will not even see the colors. They will not have the experiences that you are having with them. So you need to understand as well that you are not in just one dimension. This outside world here, it is not the only dimension at this time that you can see in. because we're ascending and you are playing a duality and even a triality in the sense of timelines and dimensions. So we'll keep seeing what is going on. Heather, I'd love to see the decloaking in the near futures. And so pretty well, there's something else that what I'm saying is a possibility. There could be something very soon on that. We'll see if events need to be tweaked up a bit here on the surface. And of course, one of the most powerful ways to do that is to, let's say, give a show of some of the ships. So that's all I wish to say on that right now. Thank you. Kim Kirby, she says, I create light beings from my hands and my fingertips. She says, wow. Well, I lost that one, Kim. Comments went so quick. Oh, no, there it is. She says, I send that love to the universe, but should I be doing something else with this ability? Okay, for those of you recently experiencing the electricity, the light from your fingers, even in the night, seeing, electrical impulses, seeing the golden yellow light. There's also an orange light, which is also another specific energy that some of you will be experiencing in the future, near future. And what is occurring, we're still building this with these powers, and it's best for everyone to keep open and sharing the information that you have in the moment. But I am to say, with this, more of the knowledge and exactly what it is comes along a little bit later. So the way that this ascension usually occurs is that the experience occurs, then the knowledge is given later. And this has been pretty prevalent with this ascension and the way it goes. And as for I, in the early days of this ascension, what would occur would be, for instance, ones would have the experience, and then I'd be a liaison to come in and apply, okay, here's what happened, here is the divine dynamics of it. So this holds true right now. I am given some information on what is occurring. Of course, it's attributed to a strong divine gift that many of you have now, having the electricity activated, the energy in your hands, and this is to do important upcoming work. So incrementally, you are showing bits and pieces of it, and it keeps building. Kim says, send that love to the universe, but should I be doing something else with this ability? All of you remain open with what you feel you're to do with this ability, with the energy from your hands and from your fingertips. Just follow whatever you're given. You're powerful co-creators, and I'm not saying this is so, but when you start getting this, making these little balls of light and release them, you perhaps can create fairies and assign them for the children if that's the case. So again, with these powers, it's for the intent, for the good for all. And having said that, none of like the darkness or the black magic, none of that works. What rules the show here is the white God creator magic, and this is what we have. And anything that we do in your powers, the dark does not have it, because what we have, it works on the good intent, and the darkness don't have it. So they have lost all of their power with that. So it needs to be said that the power that we have and we keep increasing is dependent upon the purity of your heart and your being. And also, anything selfish can restrict that. Any of the fear, it will disempower you. So the thing is to be in all trust and to keep doing everything positive and, of course, everything morally and ethically correct, and you become more and more empowered. Thank you. So Karina says, how about diet? Gluten, meat, fruits, chocolate. Well, again, with the diets, Karina, it's on an individual basis here. Let me say in the past, I've come across pretty powerful ones that still ate meat. Each one is unique. However, for the highest truth, at the end of the day, what I'm given is that even though they're powerful with eating that meat, if they're to advance to a certain higher level in their ascension, they will stop eating the meat. So, what I wish to say, everyone, whatever your diet may be, if you're still eating some chicken or meat, you know, everyone is doing perfect in the now moment. However, if you feel not to eat meat again, then this is your signs that are coming to tell you, okay, it's time to stop because you're getting ready to advance to another level. So the diets with this ascension are ever evolving, and also they fluctuate, from even week to week. You may find that at some times you cannot eat a certain food. And then, at another time, you might be told to eat a bunch of junk food for one day to lower your vibration or what have you. So the trick is following, what you feel. Now, the highest thing, as I said, is with diet, the highest thing is that we do not require food to get the energy for the ones that are advanced enough. All you require with these organic vessels is the water. However, again, that stage is upcoming uh, for all of us, really, at some point. However, it's a transitional process again. So go with what you feel to eat. That is your guidance. And again, what I say, but the ultimate is when you get up there that you actually don't need food, and where you eliminate and all of this, like smoking. There will come the time that when I'm ready to advance upon the surface to the next level, that I will quit the smoking as well. So this is coming, and don't stress it if you're supposed to. And that cigarette went out, so I'm lighting another one. If you're supposed to, it comes. So don't focus too much time, or don't stress or think about it. It will occur. Okay. So with Nicole Johnfie, and hi Nicole, thank you. We stayed at Nicole's in Quebec during our gathering. We stayed, I believe, we parked the RV there. I believe it might have been for 2 nights, Nicole. And Nicole's a very beautiful, um, powerful divine angel as well, um, and she at that time had I know, a very important specific purpose at assisting with holding the energetic space for a grid line at that time for some energetic work. Okay, so Nicole says after 4 heart surgeries, although I have chosen to be back, my progress seems to be physical. the vibration is different. Any ideas what's going on? Uh, well, with this, Nicole, the thing is that, again, the experience that each one goes through happens indeed for a divine reason. And there are so many experiences. So, with this, what occurred with your organic vessel, um, and just as you say, you're progressing. So yes, you keep progressing along with the physical, and you say the vibration is different, and which, yeah, it is. I'm also detecting that. You're asking any idea what's going on. Not fully, other than uh, I do know that something is going on there. I sense that, but I'm not really getting any particulars or specifics on it right now. So that's why I suggest, just keep going along as you are with it, and we will see what occurs with this situation. So again, don't stress yourself. Just keep doing what you're doing. Now, um, also at this point, I wish to say that always remember that uh, in the higher um, timelines or the higher state of being, that you can reverse the aging process. You can put the body to perfect health in an instant. And having said this, there is a certain technique. Uh, there's not a certain technique to do it, but there is a certain vibration frequency that you can attain. We all have this ability, but it's marginal on these timelines. Sharing with you, uh, I have seen several witness that in the past in them, in visually seeing it. And so it's to let me know when I'm working with another, like, what level that they're at when they're able to do this. For me, I say, okay, they're ready to just ascend as the energy dictates. Uh, so again, we all have this ability, but also let me say with this, even right now, if you feel that let's say that you feel that you're humanly maybe 90 years old, you feel that you may be leaving this timeline soon. Well, what occurs is that in the higher timeline, you just take on another body. We do not actually die. The death process is actually just leaving, it is Ascension, just leaving timeline. So if some of our comrades, go ahead, they're actually just ahead on another timeline, even though they leave a physical carcass behind. In that method of ascension, they instantly create another body, material body, on in the other reality that they are ascending to. So it is. Uh, so it gets a little bit more deeper into how that works, but essentially this is what it is. There is no death. We don't die. The consciousness lives for all time, exists for all time. So the death illusion is what I wish to call it, is only here for humanitarian, the human experience purposes, and this is not what we are. So, having said that, whatever occurs on this timeline, a lot of us are taking these vessels organically with us to the higher dimensions. We're here doing work. This vessel I have is prepared, it is already prepared. I have already ascended before. and my abilities, when divinely approved, are turned on in the blink of an eye, like many of you as well. So the only reason why we are restricted here is because we have a divine mission that will carry out here for most of us for another year or two at least. So to perform this important mission here, you're not given all of your inner knowing for simple reasons. You would not want to be here. However, we have at the soul level locked ourselves in here to do this important mission. So all of the rewards, with the Ascension, I can attest and guarantee you, yeah, it is very beautiful, and it's the full free will to create whatever you wish is our real divine ability. We're just here in these lower dimensions, just straightening some things up for the human soul experience. So once we're done, we go there. Nothing matters here to what we are in this reality. What we're actually doing here is we're securing the human playground for to have the human experiences is what's actually going on. There was some dark interference with that, so we're here, to set the record straight, to clean that up, and to enhance the human experience as well. But we're not restricted to here. When our mission's done, we go. So stick with it there, Nicole, and know that there's nothing to fear. We are not fear. It doesn't control us. Fear is only it's an anchor to be in these lower dimensions to do our job, our divine job, our divine mission. Okay, got rambling on quite a bit there. Wow, that lengthens out this Q&A. Okay, just scrolling down. Okay, Connie Bryson, she says, I'm having a lot of sudden, something about vertigo. Some of you, vertigo may be arising again with this. It's, again, we're not constant in space and time. And what occurs if there's a misalignment with the consciousness in the physical vessel, like this, you're going to get the vertigo sensations. So at these times, you need to move slow to keep the energetics, the consciousness in tune with the physical vessel. So when this occurs, it means that in the least that your physical vessel and your energetic vessel are not vibrating at the same level. So to sustain an existence and fully functional in the organic vessel, you need to slow down. And as most of you know, with the vertigo sensation, you need to stop and lay right down and do not move, because there's important upgrades going on and important adjustments to your energetic field in relation to the organics. And it's also for multi-dimensional purposes that this occurs. Things are being realigned in your energetic electrical system, in the nervous system, within the physical vessel, to connect the meridians also into your energetic etheric self. So sometimes there is a tweaking up alignments in relation to this to prepare the vessel for going forward as well. So vertigo, yes, if that's coming again for some of you, this is what's occurring. Know that it's again part of your organic vessel change and upgrading. Thank you for that. So, yeah, and Alicia Young says she only eats for fun and social events these days. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, so there's periods. Yeah, you don't feel to eat. You don't need to eat as long as you have water. For I would say eating is a habit right now because I know my abilities and some others. So it's yeah, you like a habit or just to enjoy it. You do get, we get gratification out of the taste, the smells, and perhaps the bodily feeling of being full with food, perhaps part of the old human imprint, but yeah, it's still good. What else do we got here? Oh, you guys and girls, of course. Yeah, the stream, many comments. Joyce Kerr says she also been experiencing sparkling in her head like pop bubbles in the old noggin. She stops, observes, and enjoys the ride, maybe upgrading. Yeah, constantly. There's so many physical sensations that one may experience with this ascension. And for I don't put any limit on it because of so many that I've interacted with and assisted, and there is a very wide variety of things one may experience. So, and they're all for upgrading reasons and whatever, and sensations are created differently within each one. At times, there's a lot the same, but there is unique experiences as well on an individual basis. Linda Caraway, she says, Aloha, Rick. In regards to physical symptoms, can you shed light on itchy skin and also spinal changes? Okay, Linda, on the itchy skin, one of the things is your the cells in your physical vessel. There are times there'll be spurts of growth with the new crystalline cells, and at times this can create the itchy skin as a conditioned reflex from the human body to scratch that area to get rid of the dead cells. That is common. Uh, Physical symptoms as also you need to discern on what's causing it. If you're around the chlorinated water, or that does kill the skin, the cells, so you'll become itchy around that as well. So it could come from a couple different areas. And the spinal changes is a rule with this ascension. What does occur with many of you, you actually begin to be taller. What's written in the old human biology is that when, in the past, when an adult would uh, attain a certain age, perhaps like around 50 or 55, that they would say the human would tend to get shorter by an inch or so. Well, with this ascension, it's kind of the opposite. The curvature of the spine will be straightened out in many, actually increasing your height. So this is part of the change as well. And again, it varies widely. With some, you may not, but with some, you do. You actually grow taller, and there will be divine reasons for that. And one of the things also where there's a wide variance in the human anatomy with the physical vessel, that sometimes its anatomy, even internally with the bones, is changed to allow for a more efficient flow of energy during certain process of the light body process, getting it act, let's say, more efficiently operating for the level of the vibration of the reality we are in. So there are more than one way that that is done, and the way that a human vessel is compensated to to be in a certain reality and a certain vibration. So as you can see, the real dynamics of this whole ascension and what occurs with the physical vessel runs very deep into creation, and it is also affected by the reality that you're in and the vibration onto what occurs and how it occurs. Uh, so sometimes it may be easy to speak of things in a generic or a general sense, while other times you may need to get particular to the individual situation. So for I, there is really there is a rule of thumb, but there's always expectations or exceptions. Sorry, and you know, it's one needs to be open for all of that, and don't draw any conclusions on how something should be or the way it was for another. Do not compare yourself to anyone, because you know, the experience can be unique and vary from individual to individual. Great, thank you. Okay, I'll scroll down here a little further and see what else we have. Theo says, "Hi Rick, it feels like we have completed our inner work and this is the calm before something. Do you have any insight as to when our next mission will start?" Well, actually, we are in, you know, the next leg of our mission that began on December 28th with the reactivation of the Orion portal. So what this does, it's part of our higher timeline to more efficiently co-create upon and have more of an influence, an impactful influence on the timelines right now. And part of this, what is so important, is the divine unions and the harmonious relationships and being together in the physical and working on the higher creational energetics now. This is so important. And just to lightly touch on this, you know, the twin flames, when they come together in, uh, because love is the most powerful energy in the universe. The most love is made intimately when two come together with their love for each other in the intimacy. It does not have to be like the sex, but sex is sacred and is a part of it. However, by two just being into proximity with this and acting out the love intimate acts, it does create a very powerful love energy that ripples out through this reality, creating rapid change. Now, to quickly go to some of the old teachings that, you know, also for this time, some of you are familiar with the 12, well, actually 13 original twin flame pairs. and the whole concept, but the divine knowledge given with that, when they come together physically upon the surface, their affects thousands of miles. Uh, so having said that, if you could just imagine 12 of those strategically, geographically placed in divine union simultaneously around Gaia, then you can see the impact, what that can have on reality very quickly. It changes everything. So this is why it's so important at this time for all of you to focus on your divine relationships. Those of you in union, keep enhancing them, learn with the energetics, uh, look for the sacred teachings on it and that knowledge to guide you if you don't already know. Any of you uh, not in physical divine union, like I right now, it's very important that you come together. You create the change much more rapidly and very quickly. And this also expedites our overall ascension. And we do speed things up. We change reality. We change timelines. We change events. We are co-creators, and the way creation is made also is through events. So if you come together and you're charging your space and projecting the powerful love, positive energy out there, you are affecting reality to incredible degrees. So again, it's so important with this time that we are in, and this is part of the new mission. And of course, each one you receive your own guidance to how you contribute to this overall mission. But this is the higher mission. We are in it now. This is a higher leg. Uh, and it's this part of the mission is to have greater effects on reality. And this is also why many of you needed to be purified further with the inner work to let go of fear actions and reactions before you're ready to receive that higher co-creational power. You need to be disciplined that you don't have the fear and the negativity in you and act out of fear with a typical fear response. So many of you have been tested, have been prepared for that, and upon mastery of it, then you are granted your higher creational powers. And to prepare you, many of you, even during the course of the last month, have been presented with various areas of what would be negativity, testing your response, your reactions, testing how much fear you had within you, and it would bring up to reality the situation so that you or couples had the opportunity to work on the solution to make it a moot point, that it no longer interfered with what you're about to do as higher creators. Again, it's great discipline and responsibility that comes with these creator powers, and one needs to be purified from the human imprinting in the conditioning with the lower dimensional acts and responses, which are on the negative scale, which are on the fear scale. So great discipline comes with this power for any of you in the divine unions, and your creations, the amount that you contribute and you create are also dependent upon your level of purity. So what I strongly suggest with this, all of you purify yourself and master the negativity that in the fear that there may be some remnants there, get rid of it, reconcile it, it comes out. To be out within the experience. If you're with a partner, both of you get the solution to neutralize it and put the solution out in reality. And also you cleanse yourself from that anchor that it doesn't control you anymore, that you actually have control over all of this, that you have mastered it. So it's so important. And this is about mastery as well. So thanks for that. Let's see if I can find another question down here. $101.10. That's an interesting number. Looks like I might be froze up at that time. 1 hour, 1 minute, and 10 seconds. Yeah, and there were 65 viewers, which adds up to 11, so that was cool. Okay, what else do we have here? Trying to scroll down. Yeah, just waiting to, my screen kind of went up. Just waiting for things to work here. Okay, I'm getting it back. Okay. Now, Sue Baxter says, having your divine partner on the other side doesn't lessen the impact of the love you create. That depends on what's occurring with that. It does. One thing that needs to be looked at it what you mean by the other side. For example, if you have what some wish to say is that they have a twin flame in the physical, and others may say they have their twin flames in the etheric. Well, Linda, with the ones that are here in the physical are the ones that are creating the love that stays here in this physical. And there is a difference between one being here and having their love in the etheric. And one of the differences is that if you have your twin flame in the etheric, your direction and your focus for that energy is actually going to be into the etheric realm. It's not going to be here in the physical realm. It would not be deposited here to the greater degrees that it can. And with this, you generate an electric field that is, it's your divine essence, and it comes out, depending on the individual. It can come out just meters from your body. So, having said this, when two are organically here to co-create, they need to be in the physical. There's a lot more that goes on with your energetic vessels while in the physical. It's a more of a complete merge at one time, which makes it just so much more powerful as a form of creation. And for example, yeah, you can connect certain parts of your energy by through a phone call or whatever, but that's only a thread, and it's only a small percentage of the capacity of your abilities. Again, when you are in direct physical contact with your entire energetic field, interacting simultaneously and at the same time with another, it becomes very powerful, and it also becomes beyond. Uh, it is very powerful, and that's why it is also done here, is because we're here to change this reality, and when we create this powerful love in this reality, it changes this reality, and that's why it is that not everyone just has their twin flame up in the etheric realm and go towards it and leave here. If that was the case, all of us would have left here a long time ago. However, no, it's important. And also, we are the templates for uh, the more harmonious relationships upon the surface. So it's very important that you get together and be the examples of the perfect harmonious relationship as well, and have these relationships documented and integrated into the timelines, as being the peers that we are the examples again for humanity, to show them in the least what can be obtained. For example, you take some of the patriarch religions, how it had suppressed the feminine, like that. It's all gone. It's going. The new realities are not going to be like this. It's a 50-50. So we also need the feminine representative uh, of in the organic, in the material, playing the 50% part of that. It's so important. And what it can also go is, what was excluded from a couple thousand years ago was the important Mary Magdalene aspect. And, because of the patriarch and part of the suppression and the darkness rule, then it was done intentionally. The dark no longer rules. We are here. Uh, we rule the light and creator, and we're writing, you can say, a new Bible. And in this new Bible is the equality, the gender equality, 50 feminine, 50 masculine. And this is the template we're leaving behind for reality, to create the harmonious relationships where your society is changing very quickly. It will be the society where there's harmonious relationships, where there will not be all of this divorce and the separation of families and all of this. This will no longer be. And each one, when they come together, they'll be more aligned before they come together. The more negativity and stress and restrictions that you take out of society, the more harmonious the human experience in regards to relationships will be. It will be based and foundationed on love. So where we're given the ability, the empathic ability, also where we're integrating that into the timelines, ones will actually feel the love, feel the energy, instead of just the old ways of thinking that you feel something. They'll physically feel it. And what this does as well, it assures a certain higher harmony in the relationships, where there's no guesswork, where one actually knows if they love another and if the other loves them, for example. And this weeds out all of the trial and error of the old imprint. Is, if a relationship is if one trusts it, if there really is love there, it also takes out a lot of the old games with it, and so there's so much that is taken out that refines the relationships and puts them into a state of harmony. Oh, Barbara, he says you can smell my cigarettes. Yeah, that happens sometimes, Barbara. Yeah, it does. Just last evening, when Sharon and I were speaking on the phone, I had got a couple odors that come through here, pleasant and oil, and there was another odor, but I had asked with Sharon if she was doing anything, and at that time it wasn't coming from her surroundings. But there are times, yes, when the smells and the odors do come through as well. So it's cool, and it's also a form of telepathy as well. Great. I'll have a look at a couple more, and then I'll wrap this up. Look at a couple more questions. Well, you picked a good time to join, huh? I'm almost finished. Just joking. I love you, girl. Good to see you. At least make an appearance. No, it's good. Just seeing if there's any more questions here. Well, this is kind of froze up here again. Everyone, every soul. So with that, what I'll do is end this. As I said, my comments are not scrolling. So I'll take that as a sign it's time to get off here. So, love you. I'm looking at if that is on the wall right up there. Interesting. Yeah, some sort of yeah, might be some star language, maybe light language. Anyhow, love you all. Many winks and peace, of course, and love and light. And yeah, maybe have a couple shows, different ones coming up in the future. One show that was up for consideration was Michael Lightfeather and Tal, his divine partner, and of course Sharon and I may be getting together to do it either on a Zoom, do a video conference of speaking, perhaps on relationships and things on how to resolve things to be more harmonious or what have you. So we may be doing that in the near future. Also, Sharon has, some other important contributions in the lines of the Yoga Nidra and also the energetics surrounding that and connections to the Kundalini energy, and these are also interconnected with the creational energies. So there's a great value and great knowledge which will be released in the future for all of you who assist in creational to become stronger, to have more of an effect on reality and more of an impact here. So there are good things that may be coming up in the future. Anything that I usually say is tentative unless I say there will be, that there is, but for the most part with this, I keep vague and tentative with things, unless I specify otherwise that it is, and then it also becomes that. So great. Have a great evening, morning, day, and night. I love you all. Thank you. Bye now.